Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the Celtic Way YouTube channel, X channel, and Facebook page. My name is Ryan McGinley. Today, I'm delighted to be joined. It's the second time in a week. I'm joined by Tony Haggerty in person, live and in person. Tony, how are you doing this afternoon?
Live with an event, actually, acceptable state of affairs, but you'll probably hear Calvin Harris in the background, acceptable in the 80s. I think you turned to me, but yeah, great to be live and crazy. Looking forward to Scottish Cup tie today. We'll get into talking about the team, but Kyogo and Idah playing Ryan, yes, you're all there.
That's what you wanted. That's what you wanted. So yeah, we've got the team graphic up on the screen just now. So Joe Hart starts in goal as always. Maybe there was a slight thought of maybe put Bain in, but I'm not for sentimentality. You play the best team. So the back four is Bernardo, Scales, Welsh, and Ralston. O'Reilly and McGregor in the midfield. And we think it's going to go like this. I'm not sure if Kyogo is going to be a bit deeper, but we know that the two wingers are going to be Lewis Palma and Daizen Maeda, and Adam Idah and Kyogo starting up front for the first time, the pair of them. Just quickly off the bat, what are you making of that team?
I'm retiring because I've always wanted Rodgers to play with two up front, so here's hoping that's what he does. I'm happy with that team. I think a lot of Celtic supporters are crying out for Idah and Kyogo both to play in the same starting lineup. They finished the game the other night. They managed to get the penalty that won the game. Idah scored it, Kyogo won it. So yeah, I think looking at that, possibly Celtic supporters query Palma coming back in, but I can understand with the width. That's what he's looking to do there. So, but yep, hands forced basically in terms of defending. No slot for Nawrocki again. Clearly not a lover of Nawrocki, is he?
I'm surprised the Welsh is playing, especially because he hobbled off in that last game against Hibs. It must have just been an impact knock that he could shake off in a couple of days. But Brendan Rodgers, unlike his predecessor, you could say, in Ange Postecoglou, Welsh is getting a lot of game time at the moment. He must be doing a lot in training, or he must be doing better than Nawrocki in training. I know when Nawrocki's been to and froing with injuries, but Welsh is there, even though he picked up an injury on Wednesday night. What does that tell you about the player?
I'm liking Welsh, but I made a point of making him one of my focal points of discussion and saying he was doing very well until he got taken off the other night. And every time he's come in this season, he hasn't let you down. He's had another disrupted season with injury, but he's clearly offering, as you say, something more than Nawrocki at the minute. And the manager lays a lot of faith in store and training, and I always mention that, and he's mentioned that himself a few times. So he's clearly loving what Welsh is bringing to the table. As you say, maybe it's just a precaution to take him off the other night with this in mind, and not wanting to aggravate anything or exacerbate any other kind of injury that he picked up. But it was clearly something that he could shake off, which is good. It's I think it's a team that a lot of Celtic supporters will like.
It's a cup team, isn't it? It's a change it up a wee bit.
Yeah, he's freshened up, he's changed it up, he's mixed it up. Bernardo, the unfortunate one here. Again, a lot of people might question Bernardo's inclusion again, but lots of contrasting reports about Bernardo the other night. People saying he was the man of the match, other people saying he wasn't so good. Everybody's entitled to their opinion on that one, Ryan. You've got Ralston, you've got solidity and dig and endeavour from Ralston, and Ralston's challenge that got about the goal the other night. So you know what Ralston brings. So, but yeah, I'm just happy to see those two guys beside each other, Idah and Kyogo, and we take it from there. This could be the kickstart that Celtic need to as we enter the business end of the season, as they're chasing down that Scottish Premiership and League Cup, Scottish Cup double.
Yeah, the domestic double would do us very, very well. Thank you to everybody that's in the comments section. We've got 260 people watching at the moment. This briefing, as all our briefings, are sponsored by MPH Group and Navian. Please check out the links in the description for plumbing, heating, kitchens and bathroom work. Look no further than MPH Group, and we thank them for sponsoring us. Also, if you like what we do, please subscribe to www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. £4 for 4 months or £18 for the whole year. There'll be instant analysis on there straight after the game. There'll be player ratings straight after the game. We'll endeavour to bring you two bits of premium content from this game, as well as the press conferences as well. So we've got you covered on the Celtic Way. If you like what we do, please press that subscribe button on the website, and please subscribe to the website on YouTube as well. Press that button, you'll get notifications when we go live. with pre-recorded videos, with morning briefings, with pre-match and post-match. Whatever you're looking for, we endeavour to bring you it, basically.
What the man said. Yes, exactly. I couldn't put that any better myself. But looking forward.
Did that without a script as well, Tony?
Yes, indeed. Without unscripted, unplugged. Somebody's unplugged my laptop because I can't get tuned into the Wi-Fi. But we'll deal with that when we come off the briefing. But yeah, looking forward to today. It's got a big game feel about it again, hasn't it? The same as Wednesday night did at Easter Road, and I'm excited to see how this formation, this team's going to shape up. And come back to me. We'll reconvene in a couple of hours and see if I'm still smiling.
Yeah, I think we'll be smiling regardless, won't we? Well, result dependent, of course, but
Some say we'll always smile, but some things are more palatable than others to accept, aren't they?
Why don't we talk about the elephant in the room, or the elephants in the room? You could say those two men up front, and Adam Idah and Kyogo Furuhashi. Good to see them both be named in the starting lineup for the first time. It's usually either one or the other from Kyogo or Idah. We've seen them both on the pitch at the same time in the past couple of games against Aberdeen and against Hibs, but we're seeing them both start for the first time. What are you expecting from them today, Tony? Are you expecting fireworks? Are you expecting a bit of rustiness between the two of them before they eventually click?
First and foremost, I want to say that Brendan Rodgers clearly tunes into the Celtic way, because we've been banging on about that, haven't we? Idah and Kyogo up front. I would love to see fireworks. I hope Idah gets another double. I hope Kyogo gets back on the goal-scoring horse. Between the pair of them, I'd like to see the both of them score. A double would be wonderful. That would mean that Celtic will have negotiated this tricky tie. But yeah, I'm just curious more than anything to see how they perform. But I like the thought of the big guy and the wee guy beside him. It's served Celtic well before in the past. We can all name various partnerships that we'd like. In fact, throw your favourite Celtic partnership, strike partnership, into the comment section,
Absolutely.
guys. Just let us know what you're thinking. But it's a tradition. To pardon the pun, Ryan, it's a traditional Celtic way of playing, isn't it?
Yeah.
With two guys up front. So I'm just glad that he's decided to do something today, because they looked really jaded and lethargic and lifeless. Needed a wee G up, and I think this could be the tactical switch that gives Celtic that G up. I'm hoping, certainly.
Yeah, it could be the catalyst for the rest of the season. You see, when Celtic go into domestic cup competitions, whether that be the League Cup or the Scottish Cup, do you think that takes the pressure off, or do you think there'll be pressure regardless, just because it's Celtic that are playing every game? At least domestically, Celtic are expected to win or get the win against their opponents. Do you think that the pressure's off them today, or do you think there's that separate pressure? It's a trophy that they've got, and it's a trophy that they need to retain.
There's always pressure on Celtic, but they're the holders. So, they want to make a wonderful defence of your trophy. You've got to go with the draw sends you. Celtic are the only side that have got a Scottish Premiership club, haven't they? It's a difficult away tie, as we've discussed, but I want the Celtic players to play with that pressure. I want that edge to it. Always, always, always. No, there is no such thing as a nothing deal when you play at Celtic. You have to put on that shirt and step up to the plate every time and represent those fans that are going to congregate behind that goal in numbers and cheer you on and spend their hard-earned money all the time. And I want that pressure. There is no point in playing if you don't have that pressure. And they've certainly heaped a lot of that pressure onto themselves with their recent performances and drop points.
Self-imposed, yeah.
Self-inflicted wins at the time. So, but if that's what it takes to drag them over the line, as it were, in the business end of the season, then that's what it's going to take.
Yeah. Can I bring you back to maybe about 3-4 years ago? It would be 4 years ago. My goodness, the time flies. But remember, Neil Lennon changed it up. It was getting a bit lethargic with just the one man up front. He put Griffiths, who had returned from his, I think it was his mental health problems that he had, but he came back into the team and played alongside Odsonne Edouard, and the two of them got on like a house on fire, basically, and they spearheaded Celtic to that title. I know the league was curtailed due to the pandemic, but those two were unstoppable for them. I remember, was it Griffiths scored a hat-trick in the last game before Celtic were due to meet Rangers the next week, and everybody was buzzing to see what this partnership could happen maybe 1-2 years down the line. Obviously, things happened and it wasn't the same when they came back, but with two men up front, it gives you a wee bit more firepower as well. You're not just aiming for one man. but it does put a lot more pressure on the likes of O'Reilly and McGregor to make things happen. And Palma and Maeda, they've got all of a sudden they've got two men to hit in the box rather than just the one, an isolated figure in Kyogo. How big a factor do you think that can be today?
Oh, massive. And I think lots of people are saying, it could be a 4-4-1-1 or whatever formation or permutation it is. You're basically like two front men on the park, two guys that can score goals. So you might see Kyogo slightly withdrawn, right? So
it was against Mirren, yeah. I didn't even mean that one.
So so I'm just looking forward to seeing the two of them on the pitch at the same time. Double trouble. Celtic have always had at least two front men that can frighten opposition and score goals, spearhead, focal points. So whatever permutation it is, as you say, your wingers are still looking up and seeing two guys, hopefully, that can hit. And obviously O'Reilly and McGregor can hit two guys as well in the danger area. So yeah, I'm delighted the fact that they're both playing.
Yep.
So it's we'll wait till the game starts and see exactly where they fit in. But I think the Celtic supporters have asked for this. And you come back to what you said, it certainly made a difference when Neil Lennon did it 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And hopefully, as I've just said there, this could be the catalyst and start for Celtic and a springboard for Celtic to launch, the business end of the season, the defence of the title, defence of the Scottish Cup.
Yeah, we've got a couple of answers for those perfect partnerships. Get McClare and Johnson, maybe one of them's a bit more popular than the other. David Brennan says French Eddie and Griffiths. I thought they were absolutely brilliant for the times that they matched up with each other. They seemed to be on the same wavelength, despite maybe even a language barrier between the two of them. That language of football was certainly present with the two of them. Yep, McGavin.
Remember around then there was like Charlie Nichols as well, Charlie Nichols and McGavin, and Charlie Nichols and McCluskey, so that they were great. First time round, certainly. Any more?
Patrick McLaughlin.
Sutton Larson, nothing beats that. Yeah, of course, Patty. I mean, everybody's going to be naturally biased to the likes of Sutton and Larson, who, what did you say, great. And someone else coming in, David Brennan coming in there, Hooper and Stokes.
Yep.
And then there was also, remember, John Hartson was around, so it was Sutton and Larson, or Hartson, Sutton, Larson, Hartson, Sutton and Hartson.
They were such a good partnership, Stokes and Hooper. But yeah, I think if you can get anywhere near Stokes and Hooper, to be honest, that was one of the first sort of partnerships I remember properly watching Celtic. And I've been in and out, Sutton and Larson and Hartson as well. Scott McDonald played with Jan Vennegoor at Hesslink too, which was a decent partnership, I think, for a couple of years. But Stokes and Hooper, an underrated partnership, I would say, as well. The amount of goals that they scored, the amount of big goals that they scored. Stokes is maybe not the same goal scorer as Gary Hooper, but Stokes gets so many important goals, especially towards the end of it, 2012, 2013. I seem to remember his record being amazing. Just looking at that team, can we get the score predictions, please, in the comments sections if you do have a score, if there are, and maybe a first goal scorer. There has to be a winner today, so you need to give us your score prediction and first goal scorer. Just having a wee look at the team, Palma. The Palma. Yeah, I might as well bring Tony onto Palma. Palma. Tony's, I think, he's an up and down relationship with Palma over the way he plays. Capable of so much, but his form has just not been at it at the moment. But Brendan Rodgers has thrown him in for this game. What are you expecting from Lewis Palma today?
I think he owes Brendan Rodgers and the Celtic supporters big time. His form's going off a cliff, and I'm still smarting over those two penalties that he hit. The identical.
Still?
I just that lack of professionalism, Ryan, really gets in my wick from a Celtic player. But I think he's got a lot of atoning to do for that, and I hope it starts today. He's been given a chance today, and this is a big game for Celtic today. So I want Palma to adopt the right attitude from the start, certainly, and if there's any penalties, he's nowhere near them. Like either just to shove him out the road and say, no, my ball, as you did when you were a kid, I'm taking it, that kind of thing. But yeah, I think Palma owes Celtic something today for his kind of laissez-faire attitude, that comfort zone attitude that I feel that he's hit the past few games when he's played. So maybe the being left out, the starting 11, is given that wee proverbial kick up the backside that some players need it sometimes. And I want to see something good from him in terms of contributions and also assists, and even better if he can score a goal, then great. But at least when he looks up, he should have two players to hit.
That's very true. Maybe that could be the difference. Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So, and I'm intrigued about how this attack's going to function, how that front six is going to function there. Looking at that team, I think every one of them is going to have a pivotal role today for Celtic if they're to be successful. That from O'Reilly, McGregor forward, Palma, Idah Kyogo, I think those front six will be crucial for Celtic today.
Yeah, we'll get quite a few comments about the score predictions. Please keep them coming in if you haven't done so already. Colin Strickland comes in, says 3-1, presuming that's Celtic and not St Mirren. 3-2 says JM, 3-2 Celtic, 3-0 Kyogo. First goal scorer Francis Leicester, as always, in the comments. Thank you, Francis. Paul Pert says 3-1 Idah, first goal scorer Kyogo and Dyson Maeda. Scott Dougal says 4-2 Celtic. Jim Forrest says Bernardo in 3-0 hoops. Maybe the goal scoring will be starting in the second half. Bernardo's obviously on the bench this afternoon to begin with. He did all that, the press conferences and that, and then he's been left out the team.
So he's on that works two ways. When you put up the press conferences are playing, other times it's like the kiss of death, and they're on the bench.
Basically, what you're saying is they get the work done in the press conference, and they can get maybe half an hour off the bench. Patrick McLaughlin 3-1 Kyogo brace. Take that. 3-1 Kyogo. 3-1 seems to be a very popular scoreline. It doesn't really matter about goal difference at all, as long as Celtic put their name in the hat for the next round and get the job done. Really looking forward to this game, Tony. I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how this game goes. Maybe both teams will play with a bit of freedom, since they know that it's an eliminator. Whatever team loses is out of the competition completely. Maybe they'll play with a bit more freedom, the two of the teams. And yeah, it's a proper cup tie. It's the last cup tie, I think, of the round. So we'll see what happens.
Without a doubt, to quote a former Radio Clyde commentator who once said, the stadium is filling up slowly but rapidly. But, I think that's where we're at just now. But yeah, the Celtic supporters are congregating in the goal behind us as we look to our right from our vantage point in the back of the press box. But yeah, I did say that it was shaping up to be a season-defining week, and Celtic only just negotiated the first hurdle, second hurdle, but it has got the feel of a big game today, and here's hoping Celtic can, as the song says, put on a bit of style, put on a show, and entertain the supporters that are going to come here today in their numbers, and also entertain the likes of myself, right?
The punters and the people that are covering the game as well. The more talking points, the more positive talking points, the better, I would say, for you and I. So yeah, hoping for a good performance today. They've got, I think it'll be 6 days between now, this game, and the Kilmarnock game, 3 o'clock game on Saturday. A really informed team in Kilmarnock, you've got to say. So it's good that Celtic will have that break in between, a bit of a mini break to take stock of where they are. Hopefully, they'll have that 3 points clear, and that's finalised. The 3 points clear in the league at this moment in time. But they'll be in the hat for the next round of the draw. I just had a wee look, and I did check. There is no other cup games after this. This is the final game, and then I'm not sure exactly when the draw is getting done, but I'm presuming it'll be maybe even after this game.
I thought it was either before the Airdrie Hearts game or after the Airdrie Hearts game. If memory serves, hopefully somebody can maybe put us right in the comment section. But
I think it will be. Yeah, I thought this was the last game. Sorry, Airdrie Hearts. Apologies to all Airdrie Hearts supporters that are watching this. That game is still to come at 5 o'clock. This is one of the last games of the day. Most other teams know if they're going to be in and out of that next round of the draw. It's up to Celtic to make sure that they're in that draw for the next round.
Just look after yourself, Ryan. Control the controllables, as we always say. There's a freshness or a fresh look about that Celtic team that we see on the screen right now. So I want them to take that and run with it and make it as comfortable a day as they can. And hopefully they can replicate the levels that they brought the last time they were here on January the 2nd when the game was done and dusted within the first 6 minutes.
Thank you very much, Peter Murphy. You know Peter personally from a wet Gibraltar. You have a great afternoon. Get Ryan DeMarco saying, "Where are you guys right now?" We're at St Mirren Park, the Smythe Stadium, I believe it's called, Smythe Stadium. So yeah, we're on hand for the game. You know, we can see the pitch. It's only a few metres away from us, basically. So we've got a great position for the upcoming game. Looking forward to it. Hopefully Celtic get that win and get in the next round of the cup. Jim Irvin's. Mm-hmm. It's on BBC before the kick-off in the Hearts game tonight, so both of those teams will know who they provisionally will be playing in the next round if they win. But we'll keep an eye out for that, and we'll keep you updated on the Celtic way with who Celtic draw in the next round if they get through to the next round. Not touch wood, of course. But if they get through, we'll see. We'll let you know who they draw. Is there anything else that you want to talk about, Tony? With that team, we've spoken about Bernardo, we've spoken about Ralston. I think the one player that's always there now, and he seems to be the first name on the team sheet, apart from Cal McGregor and Matt O'Reilly, of course, is Liam Scales. You don't really get surprised when you see him in the starting lineup, and that's testament to how good a season he's had. It's a bit shaky on Wednesday, a couple of moments he maybe could have done better, but I look back to that block that he had on Eli Johan. I thought that Johan had skied it when I was at the game, watched it again, and it was a great block from Scales, from what looked like a certain goal. Puts his body on the line every single game, and that's why he's in the team.
Crucial block, Ryan, turned out to be crucial for Celtic, but it's just typified the season that Liam Scales has had. You know, lots of high moments in it, and you know, people saying he's arguably Celtic's player of the year. That's by personal choice and subjective, isn't it? But I think what I want to touch on was O'Reilly and McGregor. Expecting a big performance from them today, a big kind of reaction to people saying their form has gone off the boil or dropped or dipped. Yeah, so I'm just hoping, I'm sure they're very much aware of the music surrounding their own personal displays right now, but I genuinely think that O'Reilly and McGregor, as I say, O'Reilly and McGregor and Idah Kyogo, Palma, I think they're going to have a crucial bearing on this, but the middle two there,
the engine
O'Reilly
room.
and McGregor, yeah, I think they're well aware of what's needed, and I believe they will step up to the plate today big time.
Yeah, and they'll be expected to get on the ball even more so. The fact that the ball will be delegated to those two players more, because there's not three in the midfield, there's only the two. More will be expected of them today. I want to actually touch on the midfield as well. I want to talk about St Mirren's midfield, because one of their best players recently is not available for this game, and Kwon is, by all accounts, had a really, really good start to his St Mirren career. Good to see that, and good to see a lone player excelling when going out on his temporary loan, but can't play today, can't hurt Celtic. It's just the rules, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that is the rules. And smartly, Celtic have exploited those rules by saying he can't play against Celtic in the cup. But yeah, it's good to see Con getting rave reviews, and you know, it's good to see that you now think there's a player in there and somebody who will benefit from this experience and come back and put something, you know, bring something to the table. You know, so thankfully he's missing, but it's all about what Celtic do today for me, Ryan. This team on paper is, I'm excited by, I say that, offensive six there. Defensively, we all have our reservations, don't we, about certain players and certain things, but it's been ever thus this season with the likes of Cameron Carter-Vickers being out, Dabrowski getting injured, you know, Lagerberger not being fancied, Bernardo coming in, Greg Taylor getting injured as well, Bernardo coming in and being his up and down, erratic, you know, self, and things like that. So, you know, pay your money, you take your choice as far as your defence is concerned, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good to see a very welcome return to the bench for Tomoki Iwata as well. Delighted to see Tomoki back on the bench. You can just see him training over there on his own. He's doing his stretches. The full Celtic team are out doing their pre-match warm-ups. Good to see Yang, and good to see Yang and O as well back from their international exploits. They'll have been disappointed at the way that the Asia Cups went. Japan too, as those two teams were the favourites, but Qatar won last night. They were the home nation, and they won. I think their striker got a hat-trick in the final, so that was a good win for the host nation, a really emerging nation in Asian football, you would say. But you know, they're back to their domestic game. They're back to their bread and butter. Yang, Tomoki Iwata, he's back from injury, and O is back from South Korea, the South Korean national team too. What are you expecting from them? Are you expecting a bit of an impact off the bench? Is Iwata only coming on if Celtic have a problem in the midfield? or do you think you could maybe see minutes for him anyway?
I think he'll want to give them minutes, but he'll certainly wait till it's safe to do so. Don't think he'll risk bringing them on if the game's in the balance. Ryan, I think he'll give this team as long as they can to get a result. So but it's good to see them back, good to see them fit and healthy. And any frustration that they may have had about being knocked out of the Asian Cup, I'm hoping they can take it out on Scottish opposition and help Celtic, as I say, clinch a League and Scottish Cup double. That's what it's all about.
Yes,
guys, to the end of the season.
Absolutely. I think we'll end it there, as it's going to it's only going to get noisier. A cup tie. It's getting a raucous atmosphere. Thank you to everybody that's joined us on this pre-match show. We will be live at some point post-match. Apologies once again for not being able to go live after the Hibs game, but it just wasn't feasible with the time. It was. I don't know how many of you would have been up. It would have been one for maybe the time difference CSC to get involved, but it was far too late, and we used the show on Thursday as a sort of post-match reaction. Thank you everybody that's joined. Please check out NPH Group, who sponsor every briefing that we do. www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. £4 for 4 months, £18 for a year, and please if I can speak, please press that yellow button, that subscribe button at the bottom of this page, and you'll be notified when we go live with any of our videos. Tony, lastly, score prediction?
3-1 Celtic.
3-1 Celtic's a very, very popular scoreline. I'm going to go 3-0. I think Celtic will keep a clean sheet and get through at the next round. Thank you everybody for joining us today. We'll be back sometime after the game to discuss everything that's happened at the Smyser Stadium. But until then, enjoy the game, and we will see you later on.